Returning now to the murder mystery of Army mother Karlyn Ramirez. Our Michelle Sagona is here now with more.
Matt, Karlyn's sister tells me that she received a panic phone call from the military mom just hours before her death. She told her sister she didn't feel safe, but she couldn't tell her why. Sadly, that would be their last conversation.
24-year-old Army Private First Class Karlyn Ramirez was found shot to death in her Maryland townhome. Her precious 5-month-old daughter was there while she was murdered, left unharmed. The search for her killer was on.
I have no idea. No idea who would do this to a 24-year-old mother.
With not much to go on, cops did what they always do, looking at the two people closest to Karlyn, which was her roommate and her husband.
I only met him twice, so, I can't say that I knew him. But he was very nice. He was very nice, quiet, didn't say a whole lot.
He was very kind when I met him. The way I describe it, he was perfect for my sister. They were completely opposite, which was great because that's what you need, someone to balance you out.
Malik and Karlyn had been married only 5 weeks at the time of the murder.
Karlyn and her husband, were they together or were they separated?
They were a newly married couple. There was no separation agreement. However, there was a bit of tension only because he was stationed in South Carolina and she was in Fort Meade.
Although cops considered Karlyn's husband a person of interest, they quickly determined he was in South Carolina at the time, and his alibi checked out.
I don't know if he had anything to do with it. All I can say is he's good. He is good to us. He's good to his daughter. When I was around him, he was good to my daughter.
And what about Karlyn's roommate? Cops were soon able to confirm that she was in Washington State with her daughter visiting family.
So as far as the roommate and her husband, we're not going to say that they're cleared essentially, but they have definitely been cooperative.
Because it's an open case and we still have many questions, I would never say that anyone is cleared at this point. However, at this time, both have been very cooperative and everything is checked out so far.
But the scene bewildered both investigators and family. And the question if someone related to Karlyn's top secret high security clearance job could have had anything to do with it remained unanswered. Cops were keeping details close to the vest.
They keep telling me this is an active investigation and there's so many things that we cannot discuss with you. But they felt like she may have known who did it because she let them in and that nothing had been stolen from what they could tell. Someone told me that it looked like a professional hit. Someone had to have known Karlyn was there by herself.
Susan believed Karlyn, who was a mixed martial arts fighter, would have defended herself as she could, with one exception.
If she didn't put up a fight, it was to save her child. Because that's probably the only thing that would have stopped her. She would have fought, to her last breath. And I don't know that she didn't.
Cops say there is no obvious motive.
Karlyn, did she have any known enemies?
Karlyn did not. Karlyn was a very well-loved young lady, a new mother, a new wife, and had a very bright career as a soldier. You just can't explain or imagine why someone with such a bright future and who was so loving and caring, something this tragic and just senseless happens to them.
And in the midst of this still very raw, unsolved tragedy, taking care of Karlyn's daughter, Vale, is what the family is focused on.
Here, your friend? She doesn't have a mom. She has her grandma. To honor my daughter is to raise her daughter the best I can.
Now, cops need the public's help.
This is a case that is haunting us, literally haunting us. So we would beg for any tip, no matter how big or how small, to come in.
And it's haunting Susan, Roxana, and the whole Ramirez family even more.
I talked to myself, sister, just tell me what happened, come in my dreams, do something that's gonna help us. They took, not only her life away, but they took my best friend. I'm sorry. Every day I miss her. I talk to her every day. She was a beautiful soul.
She was a beautiful soul. She had a big heart. She had a real big heart, and she didn't deserve what happened to her. And I miss my girl.
Matt, Karlyn's family tells me that her husband has been very involved in his daughter's life. And in fact, he's actually moved a little bit closer to them so they could have a close relationship with her.
Michelle, we hear the sergeant in this case talking about this is something that haunts him. I want to ask you where the investigation's at now. Are they referring to this yet as a cold case?
Not at all. This is very much an active investigation. You know, because Karlyn was stationed at so many bases, there have been so many interviews, hundreds, that needed to be done. And so they are still pounding the pavement. They're looking for answers. They're talking to people and doing their best to uncover new leads, and hopefully we'll bring them some new tips.
Well, let's hope that we do uncover some of those. Thank you for the update there, Michelle. If you have any information at all on the death of Karlyn Ramirez, you can submit a tip at our website. That is crimewatchdaily.com. We should stress that there is a $20,000 reward for any information that leads to an arrest.